Hey guys, and welcome back to another Broken No Game video. Today's video is going to be covering all the things I wish I knew before I started this game. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing, go to menu, metal exchange. In the charm metal section, you get these by pretty much limit breaking weapons and using other weapons to upgrade weapons. So if you click here on choose, there is a 1000 charm metal price for 300 twilight crystals. This is monthly. You can get this monthly, so make sure you buy this at least monthly because this is 300 twilight gems every single month. That is one multi. That is super important. You get this once a month, so make sure you get that. Next one, go to home, and then you go to missions, and then you do dailies. You get 12 gems, 12 twilight gems or crystals every single day. I did my other one, but you get 12 of these for free every single day, so make sure you do it. 12 times 30, because 30 days in a month usually, equals 360 gems, so this is also a multi. Next one, I shared this kind of in a comment, but I'm not sure if folks knew. In the friend medals, you get this by pretty much participating with friends and hanging out with them. You can buy this twilight crystal daily. This is a daily twilight crystal. If you buy this every single day, in a month that has 30 days, this is 150 gems. That's half a multi. That's pretty good. Make sure you do that. Now, my storage icon isn't here, but this storage box is actually unlimited. The mailbox has unlimited storage. Alright? Next thing, weapons. So as far as weapons go, you're probably wondering, well, how does skills work? How do skills work? How does, like, for example, let's not even talk about a DPS weapon. How does healing work in this game? Healing is scaled off of your physical defense and magical defense, alright? So it's based off of these two things. If you are a healer, make sure you have your physical and magical defense higher, so that way you can heal. Now, as far as how weapons have different supports and like buffs and debuffs, buffs and debuffs are based off of the current stat that they are buffing or debuffing. So for example, if I have 358 attack, when you buff a physical attack, it will use that nomenclature or that stat. And if I buff magical attack, it will use that stat. If I debuff that specific stat, then it is scaling off of that specific stat. I'm pretty sure you're getting the correlation. So if you want to buff and debuff, you pretty much have to have high base stats all around. Healers are the only one that can get away with the fact that they can just have physical defense and magical defense as high as possible. And really quick for arena. So for arena, there's going to be some things where it's like you want to be the vanguard or the rearguard. If you want to change this, you're going to go to, your guild, right? You're going to go into settings, and then in settings, nope, not here actually. You're going to go to preferences, and then within preferences, you're going to tap confirm and go to cancel. You're going to hit OK, and if you go back into the battle, you'll be assigned to the rearguard. That's how you change yourself from the rearguard and the vanguard. And there's also another thing, but you have to be in the menu for Colo to change spots. But now another thing, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, is there are 5 spots in the front known as the vanguard in Colo, right? You have 5 spots up in the front, and then in the back there are there's 10 more spots. Those 10 spots in the back are usually reserved for supports because those 10 spots in the back deal 90% less damage, and this is why we don't bring 15 DPSs into a match just to out clobber someone. The game literally forces you to use 10 supports in the back because they do 90% less damage. Alright? You do 90% less damage by being in the rear guard. So that is why it's very important and this is why it's very free to play to be a support, because all of your stats, you don't have to focus on attack as much. Now, it still does matter if you're buffing and debuffing, being very strong, so you can buff the right stats and debuff the enemy as much as you can. Go back to battle. I am now assigned to the vanguard. Alright, that's how you can switch from vanguard and rearguard. And that is why it's important for you to have 10 supports, because those 10 people in the back, if it's a DPS, they're going to deal 10% less damage. So they're pretty much useless. As far as mastery points goes, if you are upgrading a class and you've maxed it to 4, I recommend doing it in this way. You go from 4 to 6 and then from 6 to 8. I upgraded these two classes specifically because they add more stats than the normal base ones, right? These give plus 50 HP, plus 75, and then so on and so forth. You will only max the class that you think you are going to end up playing. You should hopefully decide really soon. I think I'm going to end up maining Lancer. That's why I have my 2 Lancers or my 2 Paladins at the highest level as possible. So if there is probably like a Paladin like class that's going to come out soon, I'll probably main that. Now, as far as Nightmares, Nightmares that are used, right? They can boost certain stats. They can do a lot of things, right? But the thing is with Nightmares is that you cannot combo a Nightmare, i.e. you can't use this Nightmare and this Nightmare at the same time, right? You can't use this Nightmare and this Nightmare. You can't like combo them to the sense where you can stack debuffs, stack buffs, so on and so forth. Nightmares are essentially, you know, like a one-time thing, a one-time summon. So when you summon a Nightmare into the game, you can only use that skill once, alright? You can only use that skill once and it can never be used again. This applies in Colo, this applies in Story, Raid, what have you. As far as same weapons go, so if I go back to my weapons here, I have this, no, not this one, this Demon Spear at SR, right? You get this from the Vanguard pack. Now, I have something to show you. You cannot wear the same equipment every single time. So for example, I have a Dupe Demon Spear, and I tried to upgrade it thinking like it's not the same thing because they look different. Now I just have a level 50 Demon Spear just sitting here at S rank, and I can't do anything with it. I can't limit break it. It's just here sitting at level 50, and I eventually have to sell it, and it makes me really sad looking at this. So make sure you don't level up the same weapons. I know they look different. It's really confusing. Make sure you take note of that. Don't upgrade the same weapons. Now, as far as upgrading skills goes, the best skills in the game for a DPS is essentially these, and it's Colo specific. So this sword in particular is fine. Dauntless Courage is the best skill for pretty much all DPSs because it has a chance to increase attack damage. Notice that it says damage. Damage is really important because it is a multiplier. By the way, all these tips are coming from the SINoALICE fan-made Discord and a user named Cataclysm. They're all super amazing. Make sure to check it out down below in the description. And another thing is that there are buffs or debuffs. Book instrument, the best one is support boon. I'm not sure if I have that skill. There it is actually, support boon right here. Increases support effects. So make sure you get that one. And then the next one for supports is actually recovery support. You'll notice like there's a trend here, the support name. Yeah, recovery support. So this one, right? This one's really, really good. I'm just locking it so I know. If I ever reference it ever again, support buff and recovery support and support boon. Support boon are the two skills that you want, and that's because this recovery support, it increases the amount of HP recovered. So Coliseum support gems are probably the most valuable, and then Story and Coliseum gems, they're not as valuable. These are just multipliers. When it says slightly, greatly, this, that, and the third, that just means it's a better multiplier. Like for example, this one, I leveled it to 5 because I'm a dummy, you shouldn't do that. It says deals great damage, right? It'll say different, for example, on this one that's not as leveled, I believe. This one should be, oh, this one's level 5. You get it. You get it. The higher, and damage off a weapon is based off of the level of the skill, right? So since this weapon has a higher skill level, hence it will deal more damage. Your damage is based off of your stats, but individual weapons / skills are based off of the skill level. So this determines how much this individual weapon deals more damage, alright? Now the next thing, if you want to leave a guild, for example, if you're like, oh, I don't like this guild, you leave. This is how it works. There is a reset timer based for being able to participate in Coliseum after joining and leaving. If you leave your guild before reset, you'll be fine to participate in the Coliseum next day. If you leave before reset, as in you leave before the battle occurs, you'll be able to participate in the next battle. If you do not participate, or if you do participate in the next 4 hours and 30 minutes and then you leave right after Colo, you will not get to participate on the next guild fight. So you can't just, you know, hop guild fight from guild fight. You will miss one day, essentially, no matter what, if you leave a guild before you go into guild fights. This only doesn't apply to people who's never been in a guild. So if you've never been in a guild, this doesn't apply to you. This only applies to people in a guild. Now, next thing, home, AP. You're wondering, how long does this take to recover? 3 minutes. Takes 3 minutes per 1 AP, per 1 stamina to recover. Takes 3 minutes. I should probably purify soon. Alright, how many friend medals can you get a day? You can get up to 5 friend medals a day. So you can get 5 of these a day. How do you get friend medals? You pretty much go to story, you go to co-op battle, and you fight with your friends, or your friends join you, either or. Pretty much that's how it works. You go into here, whatever. Friends or guild members, these are the best ones. If you do random, I don't think you get friend medals from those. Now, do critical hits exist? Yes, they do. They exist only in Colo. So if you're in Colo, this is the only place you can crit. You can't do it in story mode. What should I be leveling? As far as what you should be leveling, or how do you level, we're talking about leveling specifically on your account rank. You're rank 74. The best way to level is you go into story, and then you do Act 2. Act 2 provides the most story, so make sure you're doing all of story. And this one is specifically Act 2. You unlock Act 2 after beating Act 1 of any chapter up to chapter 5, right? If you get to chapter 5 and complete it, you can pretty much unlock Act 2 and you'll unlock hard mode. And the reason why you want to get Act 2 is to get more EXP, because rank essentially determines how much HP you get. How long do buffs and debuffs last? Buffs and debuffs last the entire match. So for example, in Colo, I'm pretty sure you've seen someone who's stacked to the teeth with 10 buffs and debuffs. That just means because no one's debuffed them and they're constantly getting buffed. This is why buffing and debuffing in Colo is extremely important, because if you have one person who has like 15 buffs on them, they're pretty much going to one-shot your entire team no matter what you do, especially if they have like more points than you. So make sure you have debuffers so that they can take off those buffs that they have, because buffs are just as crazy as debuffs in this Colo fight. In raid, they last forever, unless in the raid, you know, I believe it's on turn 2 on Jormungandr, he pretty much strips all your buffs. That's a thing, but you know, that's a thing to note. For story mode for Colo, the only thing that removes buffs are debuffs, right? So, last one, monthly pack. This is probably, if you decide to spend on the game, you will go to shop, you will go to Royal User Service. You will not, if you bought the weekly service, you will buy the monthly service after. You get 1 medal per week. So, what does this tell you? You get 1 medal per week here, you get 4 right here. If you do not buy this 4-week set, and you decide to be a cheapo and you buy this one, you will only get 1 medal, and you will have to wait another week before you can buy the monthly one. So don't do that. It feels really bad when you buy this one and you get 1. And the reason why you want the 4 plus the 1 that you get earlier, go to medal exchange, you go to royal medal, and then you get the free, well, not technically free, you paid like what, like $15, $16, whatever, even higher if you're in Europe, so feels bad, man. You get the Gulu, Freeze Golem, or Lindworm, and these guys are mainly used for their skills, and they're a stat stick at the very beginning. They don't fall off really, because their skills are pretty much the best skills in JP. And that's pretty much it as far as things that I wish I knew. The biggest thing that I want to hammer home is make sure you do your friends medal exchange so you can get the free daily Twilight crystals every single day, 5 a piece every single day. Make sure you do that. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. And I'll see